Zach Peay, Jamar Perkins. It's crunch time. It's crunch time here live in the studios of Austin Peay. Zach Peay, joined as always by Jamar Perkins and Resprint. Gentlemen, how are you doing? And welcome to crunch time. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Heck yeah, Zach. I appreciate it, man. I had a pretty good weekend, man. The golf team went to Tunica, Mississippi. We competed there in a little match play OVC event, so that was good. Didn't get much rest, I'm not gonna lie. Those days kind of start at 6 a.m. and end at 9 p.m. So we show up in the dark and leave in the dark, but it's fun. You know, that's what I signed up for.
Right.
But trying to get some rest, recouping for the next tournament coming up.
Right, Jamar, how was your weekend, man? I didn't get a chance to ask you.
Nah, man, this weekend was good. And I'm trying to find something on my phone. I believe today is National Student Athlete Day. So shout out Reese.
Shout out Reese.
I appreciate it.
But
sir.
good weekend. Got to, chill out, watched one of the greatest sporting events of all time. Wrestlemania. Me and Zach, we know a little something about that, man. Some iconic things happen. Let's talk about that, Zach.
Dude.
What'd you think about it?
Well, firstly, I want to say my weekend was great because I got to watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I got to watch a couple other games and stuff too. We'll get into that. But for WrestleMania, man, it was cool. Like, so I call myself a low-grade wrestling fan. I got family that are a much higher grade wrestling fan than I am. Yeah. But to see Stone Cold Steve Austin come out again out of retirement after 19 years, come out and fight KO on night one, then come out again and put a stunner out on McMahon after the McAfee stunners too, man. I mean, it was so cool just to watch this coming together like athletic thing that we get to see.
I saw something too. Pat McAfee very well could be Vince McMahon's very last match because they fought against each other.
Yeah.
And he could be the last person that Stone Cold stuns. Like that's
very well.
He could go down as being that. So
that stunner was like amazing.
It was
so good.
Yeah,
it was better
the
than
beer
Austin's.
coming out the mouth. It was clean. But no, it was a really fun event. But other things happening in sports as well that we don't get to talk about so much, and that's golf. And Reese, we know. I mean, obviously, we just talked about it. You're the golf guy, so I want to ask, as far as the Masters coming up, tell me a couple things. I want to know, who do you think is the favorite to win? Your favorite. Tell me a sleeper guy not many people are talking about. And then, of course, the Tiger Woods situation. I want you to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, well, first of all, the Masters, that's every little kid that plays golf dreams of playing at Augusta National, the par 3 contest, just all that has to do with the Masters tournament and how prestigious that event actually is. It's awesome. I think everybody out there should at least watch Sunday's round, if not all 4, starting tomorrow. I'll start with my sleeper guy because I really like this guy coming in is Max Homa. He's only won once on tour, but he's in the top 60 in the world. He's not a guy that hits it very far offline. He hits it on the green. He doesn't get his irons are very good when he's approaching into the green. So I like Max Homa as my sleeper, but the outright winner, I think, is Colin Morikawa. He's won 5 events already on tour. 2 of them have been majors, going back to the 2020 Open Championship and the PGA Championship in 2021. So I really like him this week. He's another guy that strikes his irons really pure. So if any of you guys are out there, trying to make a little money of this Masters, I wouldn't put it past throwing a little on Colin Morikawa.
Okay.
And then Tiger, obviously. Yeah. Honestly, I think he makes the cut, but I don't think that he is in contention on Sunday. I think this is 4 rounds where he's going to accumulate maybe 4, 3, 3 under, 4 under. Yeah. But he's looking good. If you've watched, I've watched a little of the par 3 contest just now, and then his practice round. They've been broadcasting the practice round all over.
Go ahead, Zach.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to say during his recent interview, they did show some of him teeing off and kind of looking like he actually looks like in form of what he was. Yeah. Now, obviously, after a serious injury like he took with that wreck and everything like that, it's a little bit different. But I know that it's a very long shot. If you see the betting lines on Tiger Woods and the Masters, it's like
outrageous.
You can make a lot of money just betting just a little bit on him. So I don't know where they're at today, but I know that the other day we were talking about it, and some of the crew and I were, and they were mentioning some of that. So
people are saying that like he, apparently professionals, like people covering it, they're saying that Tiger's looking good out there. But I mean, I just think it's a nice narrative. I mean, just think of how he came.
100%.
So like regardless of whether he wins or loses, it's a beautiful story to see him participate.
And in general, with Tiger Woods, it's just a story that everyone knows. I mean, starting out with golf and then having some of the confrontation stuff that he had later in his career, then coming back in and having other stuff. It's a great thing to kind of see this athlete that's been around for so long get another chance.
When you think of all the major athletes we've seen in these last couple of years, regardless of the sport, when it comes to up and downs and situations, he has to take the cake for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
No doubt. And coming back in 2019, so he had that long stint where he was, in with a bunch of women, and he didn't have the best people around him. Yeah. He didn't have the best people around him. And then coming back in 2019 and really, he won the Masters, in that grand fashion, and I guess that's in America everybody loves a comeback story,
which was supposed to be a send off too. That last Masters was supposed to be his final one. He was supposed to be done. It was like Tom Brady retiring, and he didn't. He stayed a little bit longer though than Brady did, so that's a good thing. But no, I'm excited for golf this week for the Masters in general. I think that's a good thing. I wanna move into APSU sports news. Congratulations to Terry Taylor signing a multi-year deal with the Pacers. That's what we'd like to see. Congrats to that. And then the golf team. You guys won your match play, right, in Tunica?
Yeah, we didn't win the overall championship, but we won some matches, or we won a match against TSU, and then we had some individuals that won some matches. So I didn't lose a match the entire week out of our 3.
A little bit of gloating there.
I got
you see what I mean when I say I can't? I'm not golfing with this guy ever. Like, he's gonna just destroy me.
But it was good. We're ramping up from Missouri. We're leaving on Saturday, so we get to play with quote unquote the big dogs this week. So we'll be put to the test a little bit.
Where in Missouri are you going, if you don't mind me asking?
Columbia. We'll play at Old Hawthorne Club or whatnot. So
okay.
We've got like Missouri coming, North Carolina. Just we're playing some really good teams.
Playing some big names.
Yeah, we're playing some good teams, man.
All right. Well, I want to switch over real quick to college basketball. A recap of the Final Four, and then obviously the final happened on Monday, so we know the results obviously for this tournament. But what a crazy March Madness we got to see, right, guys? UNC and Duke. UNC wins that game, 81-77, tarnishing the once picked Duke team that one of us may have had me. And so my pick didn't win it. It's fine. It happens. It was a great game. Last half was outstanding to watch. I mean, except for the last shot for Duke, you could tell even before he set up to shoot that ball, it wasn't going in.
Yeah,
like you could just tell.
Accurate. Yeah.
And then Villanova, Kansas, 81-65. Skyhawks dominated that over Villanova, led in field goals, 3 points, and rebounds. But I want to recap the final. I unfortunately didn't get a chance, and I'm going to get ousted in the sports world now for not watching the final of March Madness. But you guys had a chance to watch it. I watched the recap. I loved the recap. I could tell it was a great game to watch. So I'm gonna toss it off to you, Jamar.
Okay.
What do you got coming out of this game? I know it was a tale of two halves. UNC was dominating the first half, and then they just didn't show up.
That's like the whole situation basically. It was a tale of two halves. We saw UNC come out. I'm talking as the A seed, really looking like one of the best teams in the country.
Right.
The way they look. Armando Bacot, I believe I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, dude is his name right for sure.
Dude is a dog. I mean, what did he tied with David Robinson for the most double-doubles ever in college basketball this year.
It's like 31 or something
30,
like that.
I think it was 31. But just a dog. Caleb Love, we saw him against Duke, a straight dog with 27 points, 20 maybe 28.
Yeah.
And he didn't really show up as much as they could have needed in Kansas, but that man McCormick down low. He's tough. And you saw it was an interesting in the beginning. They tried to feed him in the first half, and it wasn't working out. Then you go against Bacot. I mean, give him credit. I mean, he messed up the ankle again.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that because they kind of did a replay almost, and they slowed it down and they zoomed in on his ankle. And when he went down on that right ankle, it looked like the court buckled under him.
They said it was something wrong with the floor.
Yeah, it was something wrong with the floor. And so the fact that arguably cost them the national championship is, I mean, that's got to be a little something, right?
If football fields cannot determine whether you win or lose, I don't think a court should determine whether you win or lose at that point. I mean, just me. I know that's a messed up thing to say, but I feel like if a football field's condition can't determine how you win, a basketball court shouldn't determine whether you won or lost that game.
I think though you have more control over a basketball court than you do a football field.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I would agree with you in that aspect. That it wouldn't have made the difference in the end. That we think. I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, him being in the game would have made a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's what
exactly.
I mean.
That's about it.
Coach Hubert for UNC literally said what him at 50% is still good for their team.
Right.
And I mean, he showed up. I'm really interested, though. I see some of these players out on the floor. I think Caleb Love for sure. as far as an NBA prospect. But looking at Bacot, I'll be interested to see. He's 6'10". He is a good rebounder, but I'll be interested to see how he shapes up in the league. Because I'm not sure he has that league kind of style as far as, you see these good college post players. Will they be good in the NBA? I'm not sure. But as a college player, a dog.
And you and I talked the other day about this. One of the best things coming out of March Madness this year is the fact of the caliber of players that seem they may be going in the league soon. And the league is going to get a lot of really good, talented players, either to start or just to be on that secondary line for them, that could very well create some of these teams to be better. I want to mention real quick before we switch over to NBA basketball, Vegas odds have Kansas already set to repeat for the 2023 March Madness.
I saw the odds. Someone's tied with them. I think 2 teams are tied with them.
Yeah,
Arkansas
Arkansas
and Duke are tied with them. And Arkansas Arkansas and Duke, they have good drafting classes.
So the Duke issue that is the only thing that I'm concerned with it is coaching, obviously, because you're losing your coach and all that. But Arkansas, I can see they did a great job against Zaga in the tournament. I honestly thought they had a chance to beat Duke.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was very shocking to see the Razorbacks jump as far as they did because they were such a good home team and not a great away team during the regular season. But I just with the Skyhawks, you and I looked over the roster. They're losing like 7 players.
Yeah, it's
at minimum.
It'll be interesting to see who they keep and who decides to leave and stay and all that. But talking about Duke too, I want the coach Shire. I believe he's been in the program, so that's the best thing you can do is bring someone up.
Yeah,
and it's nice. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and Coach K is in the front office too, so he's
still
not
involved.
he's still involved.
It's funny. It's kind of go back to Austin Peay a little bit. I saw Coach Nate James. He was posted. He was actually at the game for Duke, sitting with the coaches, or not with the coaches, behind the bench with the alumni and stuff. So it was interesting to see. Like you said, I saw he posted. He was like, "It was nice to be here. I want to take some of this stuff and bring it to the Austin Peay program as far as winning and getting in the tournament." So
and I think you will. I think you will for sure. We saw how they rebounded within the last tournament.
Three-star recruit. I believe his name is Elijah Perkins, which I remember.
It.
Yeah, he signed with Austin
Peay
a couple days ago.
Perkins.
I know, man. the second alias, the second best basketball playing Perkins is coming to Austin Peay. No, I'm just.
No. Own it. That's what you do. You got to own that.
But no, I'm excited for ASUN action next year. But I'll let us switch to the next subject.
Yeah, no, you're good. I want to talk about the NBA because we got a lot to cover here for the NBA this time. Standings wise. For the Eastern Conference, you got Heat, Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, Raptors, Bulls, Cavs, Nets, Hawks, and Hornets. The Western side, you got the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks, Jazz, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Clippers, Pelicans, and Spurs. Notice the Lakers are not in that conversation for the West anymore. They are actually officially out. They cannot make it into the playoffs. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to mention the teams that have locked in. Heat, Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, Raptors, Bulls have locked in for the East. For the West, the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks, and Jazz have locked in for the West. 4 or 5 games left, right? Like maybe not even that.
Yeah.
Like I think we're down to maybe 3.
Yeah.
So this is probably where we're shaping out to be for overall standpoints. I got the bracket here for you guys. Jamar, I want to throw this out to you. First thing first, we talked about the Lakers. They're out. They're not going to make it.
Yeah.
What's happening? They're going to get a new coach. Is LeBron done? Is the era finally over of the king, or are we going to see him one more?
We'll see LeBron again next year, and I think Coach. I think we're going to see a new coach. Rumors have been. I've been seeing Doc Rivers and Quinn Snyder's name come up a lot, which is, I guess
Snyder's name.
There's money in L.A. I mean, Doc is already in L.A. with the Clippers, but just to see Quinn Snyder, I mean, he's proven that he's not really that good in the playoffs, in my opinion. I mean, we've seen the Jazz go to the playoffs multiple years and lose every single time. I mean, they're in the tough West, but I don't know where you get that head coach from for the Lakers, but it needs to be somebody good. People are saying, who do they get rid of? Are they even going to get rid of Russ? Are they? I don't know what they're going to do.
Not if LeBron went after him. After talking to you and hearing out the stories and stuff, LeBron's the reason why Wes is there.
Yeah.
It's why Westbrook's even there. So you've got to wonder maybe they're going to get a coach that can bring in to maybe coach that talent up. But whoever comes in has got to control LeBron. I know that sounds weird to say, but like LeBron James is the reason Rosen's not there.
Yeah.
The whole reason.
And Buddy Hield too.
Yeah. So if that's the case, that's 2 players that are really good players, young, talented players that have proven that they're good. I mean, Rosen's helping out in the NBA right now. Hield, I don't remember where Hield dropped at.
We'll get into the playoffs though. The Bulls suck though. I'm not gonna lie.
Bulls are struggling. They're dropping.
Yeah. Well, they were hot, like kind of middle of the season. Like DeRozan was playing really good basketball.
He still
is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he still is. And there was a report. I don't know if you hinted at this just a second ago, Zach, but DeRozan was supposed to go to the Lakers. Like they had the deal signed up. They had everything right there. And LeBron said, "Nah, I want Russ." And it's just
got on the phone.
Right. Exactly. And we see how that's turned out.
When LeBron calls, you answer the phone.
I don't understand how. Like I don't know about y'all, but when the trade was about to happen and when it did happen, we're all like, "Bro, Russ is not going to fit with the Lakers."
Yes, we
I
all
do
said
not
that.
understand LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball minds of all time. I don't understand
Right.
how he thought that was going to work.
I slightly thought I had a back thought in my head because LeBron's the one that brought him in. I thought maybe there's a chance. There's a small chance that it works out. And then I watched the first 2 weeks, and I'm like, no, there's no way this is going to work at the end of the day. Russ is not even playing like he was supposed to. But let's talk about the NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
Jamar,
yeah.
I want to pitch this to you. Out of what happens right now, obviously this thing doesn't start and kick off until April 12th. That's when play-in starts. Playoffs start officially April 16th. Out of the play-in teams, who's making it? Who do you think? Who do you got from each side?
So, oh my goodness. Okay,
And it's crazy to start
I
that
wanted
way.
to talk about this too. I forgot to tell you about it, but apparently Zion's stepfather, I believe, reported, and he talked. I know, man. I'm getting to the
Continue. Sorry, you said
Zion
stepfather.
Williamson's
And as soon as I heard that, I just
according to a report, he said that Zion's isn't ruled out for the season. So if he could, maybe we might get some random highlight that Zion comes in this playing game. Now, will it work? I don't know. But the Spurs are playing very good basketball right now. They kind of had to fight for their spot against the Lakers, and they fought very well.
They did.
So to see that 10-9 matchup, I think the Spurs will probably come out of that unless C.J. McCollum just goes off that game because it is a single elimination. So
Yeah,
you never
it
know.
is. It is.
Minnesota, L.A. Paul George is back. He's been playing good basketball, and the Timberwolves are nice too. Down low, I think I don't know.
Is Kawhi back for the Clippers?
Is Kawhi back? No, he's not coming back. He's
Okay, I
done.
didn't know if
I
he was
did
done
see
or
him on the
not.
court though. He was
Yeah.
like in like a little clip of him in the video, but he's.
I didn't know if
back.
he was coming back to play or not for the playoffs or not. I wasn't sure if his injury's gotten better or not. So
I'm gonna say the Spurs 8th seed, and then I'm gonna give the Clippers the 7th seed.
okay,
That's what I'm gonna do.
okay. And what about on the west side, man, or the eastern side, man?
I forgot.
Atlanta,
two playing games. Yeah.
and Carolina, and then Cleveland and Brooklyn.
There's no way Brooklyn's not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't see Brooklyn
and
getting
they're
beat
the
by
8th
Cleveland.
seed right now. So
But to make it's Boston.
I'll let you hop in there. There's no way the Brooklyn Nets are going to lose a single elimination game with Kevin Durant. No way.
See, and I would
Kyrie's
like
back.
to agree with you. I would love to agree with you, but looking just one spot ahead, I don't want to see the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a Celtics fan. I don't want
Yeah.
to see the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant in the playoffs. I don't want to see it. So I just hope to God that the Cleveland Cavaliers can do something magical.
And so Cleveland, they are doing something. They're playing good basketball.
Yeah,
they
they
could
are.
beat the Nets,
Yeah.
and then the Nets would play the winner of the Hawks and Hornets, and that LaMelo Ball, Trae Young battle, whatever we see, that's going to be very interesting.
You know, and you bring that up. Trae Young doing a great job right
Yeah.
now with the Hawks. It's
He is.
the reason why Atlanta is actually doing what they're doing right now. Charlotte's young. LaMelo Ball, obviously young.
Yeah.
It's the same thing we talked about with the Grizzlies, right? I just don't think the Hornets have the caliber to make it past Atlanta.
If I'm not mistaken, which I'll look it up after I say this statement, but I'm pretty sure the Hornets were in a playing game last year and lost.
I believe they were.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
I believe they were too, because they were. That's the second time they've made the playoffs technically, because this counts as making the playoffs, even though it's a play-in game.
Okay.
But to your point, with Brooklyn and Cleveland, I think I hate to break it to you, Bud, but I think it's Brooklyn winning that game. I mean, with Kyrie coming back, no more of him resisting of not being able to play in New York because New York lifted their bans. Kyrie coming back, KD playing well. I just see them playing Boston. Now, do I see them beating Boston? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's another question.
Boston's playing really good basketball.
To speed this up a little bit, my question for you, and then we can come back to it in a moment.
Yeah.
Who right now, if you were to look at this bracket, who right now do you think has it all? Who's gonna win it all? Who's hoisting the trophy up at the end of the year?
As a Warriors fan, I'd hate to say that the Phoenix Suns are playing very good basketball,
They are
and
playing very good
I
basketball.
would not be surprised at all if we saw a Suns-Bucks rematch because both of those teams on each side are looking very good. Now the Suns versus the Bucks, I don't know. That'll
Right.
be but that'd probably be my pick. But as a Warriors fan, I just think we can do it. So I'd say Warriors-Bucks. But on that Eastern side, 76ers are looking very sloppy. Embiid's playing well, but Harden's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. Celtics, I will give you credit for that, Reese. They are playing very well. They don't. What does Jason Tatum do in the playoffs? Though?
Exactly.
It's interesting to kind of
it's-
see.
Right.
Jalen Brown
yeah.
stepping up though, so that
Right.
might kind of ease the pressure a little bit. But I
That
don't know.
chemistry there is a little weird right now. It's very weird.
And
so.
I think it's because Tatum is kind of trying to be this ball hog style player that he turned into with not having any help, right?
Yeah.
So now that he's got help, he's kind of trying to push off and try to keep going. I think he needs to learn pass the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And for me, man, as a Memphis fan, I think Memphis is a good team. Don't get me wrong, I think they're great. It's a Tennessee typical fashion that you lose in the first round every time you make a playoff, and so I don't want to pick them.
To talk about the Grizzlies too,
because I don't think they're going to make it.
they're 20-2 when John Morant's not playing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to see that like they are playing this well. Now John Morant comes back. Obviously, John Morant's going to make your team better.
yeah.
But will it change the narrative a little bit? They've been playing all these last couple games in the season without them. Like they hypothetically they end up in a playoff situation. Will they become better or worse? And I believe where are they at right now?
They're second right now, so they'll get the 7th or 8th seed, which is either Minnesota or the Clippers. Ooh. They'll probably play the Clippers.
Honestly, they win that.
I don't think they beat the Clippers.
You don't think they beat the Clippers?
Only because of how good Paul George is playing right now. Yeah. I mean, PG is playing really well coming off this injury, and if the Clippers somehow magically get Kawhi Leonard back, I don't see it. I just don't. And I'm a Grizzlies fan saying that. I'm sorry, guys, but I think you're just a little young, and you got great second seeding. I'm shocked you got the 2nd seed, but I just feel like that's my upset for this tournament,
Grizzlies
man.
In 5, man. I think
really?
You're tripping. I think Grizzlies will destroy the
Clippers.
I think they do win that first
round.
So
they'll lose second round then, because like I said, it's typical Tennessee fashion that they lose first round. I mean, it's whether it's the Preds, the Titans, the Vols, Vanderbilt. It doesn't not matter. The Grizzlies are the same way. They usually lose first round. So. So it's just typical Tennessee sports. But moving in to another thing, I want to go into talk about MLB Opening Day. We'll come back a little bit to this playoff, because we'll be talking about the tournament throughout the rest of our season here on Crunch Time. But Major League Opening Day is tomorrow, the 7th. Just want to let everybody know about that. Congratulations to Major League Baseball for finally getting your opening day kicked off. Your strike didn't last as long as you thought it would. And then I want to switch over to NFL news. Bruce Arians retires to the front office, allowing Todd Bowles to come into the coaching position. It's Todd Bowles' first head coaching position since coaching the New York Jets. I think that's funny because his quarterback is now Tom Brady, and he used to play against Brady all the time. So I think that's hilarious. What do you guys got on that? You guys got anything on that on this at all? What do you think?
I'll just say one thing. I think that his coaching stint with the Jets has scarred him. I don't think that he will. The only way that they have a good season is because Tom Brady's at the helm. Okay. I don't think that he is very good in a head coaching role. Now, an offense coordinator or defense coordinator role.
He's a DC.
That's what I'm saying. So if he's in a coordinator role, either side of the ball, really, he can manage that. But managing a full team, the personalities in the locker room, I don't know how good he's going to be at that, because he didn't do a very good job in New York.
No, and he was featured in Hard Knocks, if memory serves correctly. I want to say he was. It might have been the Rex Ryan era when they were on Hard Knocks. But at one point he was interviewed and has shown that he has an issue with managing players in the locker room. He's a good players coach, but it's just overall controlling some of those players. I think that Arians set the staff up pretty well for him. There's a lot of one of the only teams in the NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are one of the most minority hires. And as we learned what the NFL means by minority hires, it's women and anybody that is considered a minority. So it's interesting to see this, because now Bowles takes over this coaching job. You're not probably getting Gronk back. Gronk's already said he's probably not coming back. It's just, I don't know. That changes my prediction. I was already calling it. I was like, man, Brady comes out of retirement. He's just going to the Super Bowl. It's going to happen. He's going to win his 8th one, and then he's going to call it quits, right? Now I'm like, do they win?
That's what I'm saying.
Do they have a chance?
They've set their roster up very, very weird for this for this next, I guess, comeback run for Tom Brady almost. You don't know. I mean, what's going on with Chris Godwin? He's still there, right?
He is still there.
Okay, he's still there. You still got Mike Evans. Leonard Fournette signed back with him. So you've got some pieces.
No Ndamukong Suh anymore. So no tackle there. You got your center back, but you lost your both of your guards and one of your tackles.
Right.
So it just depends. What was your depth at before you lost all of that?
You still have Wirfs at left tackle. I'm guessing, So I mean that's a good blindside for Brady, but still, I mean you just don't know. Everything's up in the air at this point for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not going to be a magic ride for the Bucs.
No. I think it's going to be like a wild card type thing scenario. I mean, they might win their division because their division really isn't loaded. Yeah. I mean, Carolina's got Sam Darnold at quarterback right now. Falcons have Marcus Mariota, which I'm super happy about. New Orleans Saints having as of right now Jameis Winston, but we're going to get into that. That transitions over to the next thing. The Saints and the Eagles make a trade, agree to a very big trade. Eagles received the number 18 pick, the number 101st pick, number 237 pick in the 7th round, and then a first and second rounder in 2023 and 2024. The Saints got number 16 and number 19 overall and a 6th round pick out of all that. The rumor mill is that New Orleans is going to trade possibly a quarterback and trade up to get the 9th pick from Seattle. What do you guys think about this? Is this a good move by the Saints, or is this a bad move by the Eagles?
It's tough because I don't know who. I don't know what quarterback the Saints would be trying to trade up to get because this is not a quarterback heavy draft. There's really no
There's the
outliers.
Liberty kid, Willis.
Yeah,
I think
Willis.
is Malik, I think
Malik
is his first
Willis.
name. I mean, that's
Kenny
it.
Pickett.
Small hands.
Pickett's not bad, but he's from Pitt. Pickett's problems, issues, his hands too. I mean, it's like
there were a couple
little hands for quarterbacks.
There were a couple mock drafts that I saw that actually had Matt Corral going to the Saints, not at 9, but at 49 in the second round.
Makes sense.
It does. The way he
he's a
performed at the
second-round
combine,
quarterback.
the way he performed at combine, pro day, gave him that second round grade. So I don't really know who the Saints are trying to go after right here if they're going to get Corral in the second, but yeah, it's weird. That whole trade situation was weird when I first saw it.
Random.
Jameis Winston, before he got hurt, he wasn't really playing bad football.
No,
So
he's
it's
at least
like,
nailing his
I don't
deep
know.
ball.
I have some faith in him. Give him a chance this year. I mean,
Hey,
maybe they're trying to be
was it?
prepared.
He did this, and he's like, "I'm gonna eat W's," and he's like chowing down on a W in his hand. And that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen by a player, by the way, ever. For like eating his own hand, like get your hand out your mouth.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially a grown man, NFL quarterback. Come on
Yeah.
now,
You get your hand in your mouth.
Come on
I mean,
now,
go steal some crab legs or something.
Yeah.
Some old stuff for him. No, I like
low
Jameis. I
blow.
think he's good. Yeah, it is a low blow. I'm not gonna lie. But I like Jameis Winston for the Saints. I think that when he came in, he learned a lot from Drew Brees. Drew did a great job at mentoring him. The problem is the Saints have like 4 quarterbacks right now on roster: Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, and Blake Bortles, who just asked for a trade so he can be a better backup somewhere else. Unfortunately, Bortles will not be a backup anywhere else, I don't believe. So I don't know. It's curious to get your opinions on that. Congratulations, Bobby Wagner, signing a major deal with the Rams. In fact, his deal is so big that if they win incentives, if they were to win the Super Bowl this year, right, he could opt out of his contract and re-sign with another team and still make more money.
Wow.
Like that's how his deal is structured. It's ridiculous the amount of money he'll make. Also, just in today, Stephon Diggs signing with the Buffalo Bills a 4-year, $104 million extension that includes $70 million guaranteed. I think that puts him in top 3 highest paid receivers in the league. What do you guys think about that?
I saw
About
this
4 minutes for
thing,
this.
and talking really like, I think people are talking about paying these receivers money. It can mess up teams, like as far as cap space and stuff like that. So I mean, I understand this is a pass. We're in a pass heavy league now. I mean, regardless of some teams, but it's kind of interesting. You're paying these people money. Like, can you still remain having a good team? So I'm interested to see how the Jets do. They pay Tyreek all that money. Like, will they still be successful?
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Sorry, Miami.
Good. Yeah, Dolphins. So I'm interested to see how that will kind of shape up and see if they'll be still good because they paid so much money. Same thing with the Raiders. I mean, Raiders have a nice team though, but it's as these contracts keep coming up, they're going to keep saying, "Oh, this guy's getting paid this much. This guy's getting paid this much."
Does Stephon Diggs deserve a top 3 wide receiver pay? Or top 5? Because I mean, that's what this looks like. Top 3, top 5. Do you think he does?
5.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think he deserves top 5.
Yeah.
I don't think about top 3.
Right.
And that's only because third place for me is still kind of a mixture between like 4 or 5 different receivers. So that's why I don't do that. But I mean, he did make Buffalo a contending team as soon as he was traded over. I mean, he's turned Josh Allen into one of the best quarterbacks, or one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and probably one of the best in the AFC currently, besides maybe Pat Mahomes and now Russell Wilson because he's now over. Last thing, rumor mill. We always like to end on rumor mill here. DK Metcalf supposedly up for trade, and Kaepernick to supposedly Seattle. That's the only 2 things I've got for rumor mill right now. The other thing is teams are waiting for the Browns to pay out Baker Mayfield's contract before trading him, or they're demanding him to be released before they pick him up. So I'm leaving that with you guys. What do you guys think about all that?
As far as the decaf, I love when athletes do this, but when they see tweets and they're like, I haven't heard anything or nothing like that. So that's what DK did. So I don't know if that's going to happen. You said it's confirmed.
It is confirmed
shopping?
that they were shopping him at the owners' meeting. That is confirmed by, I think, Rappaport. I think confirmed that one.
Interesting.
That's very interesting because I think DK. There's no way that Seattle plays well next season if they don't have DK Metcalf.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? They still have Tyler Lockett, but DK Metcalf's that position guy that's going to get you those tough like like 3rd and 7 with those stick routes. It's just like you're not going to be as good without DK Metcalf. And really, I don't know where the Seahawks are doing during this postseason.
It's a rebuild. It is definitely a rebuild. And in the Kaepernick situation, if he does go to Seattle, I just don't think Kaepernick can be a starting quarterback. He lost his starting position to Blaine Gabbert. He was already on the decline before he had all the other stuff happen to him. Right. I'm not even going to mention all the other stuff that happened to him. I'm just going to say that. But I want to remind everybody that you can catch us on Twitter or Instagram at APSU CrunchTime. Ask us questions. Follow us on there, and just interact with everything. We'd love to be able to hear from our fan base and hear what you guys want us to talk about throughout the show. So join us there at APSU CrunchTime, either on Instagram or on Twitter. That's where you can find us at. Or you can find us at Podbean as well at apsucrunchtime.podbean.com. But that does it for our show this week. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. We only got a couple more left for this season, about 2 more. So we're getting kind of winding down, but I want to thank you guys for taking the time out. Thank you guys so much for taking your time out, for spending the day with me. I'll see you guys next week, obviously. I'll be here next week. This has been Crunch Time. We'll see you next time.